Unglorified podcast. I'm Payne Hunter here with my co-host Javari Beasley, who doesn't have a camera right now because his mom took his camera to church.
I feel like we didn't need to share all of that, but okay.
We did definitely need to share that. Today we're going to talk about our experiences as athletes to help our listeners maybe get a better future, understand like what to do and what not to do. For example, don't eat like Javari, but eat and work out like me.
I hate you.
Well, bro, come
Should
on.
ask somebody else to do this podcast. I have a question for you. When you're in the gym, what are some of your
Right.
pet peeves? Things that you see that you just hate.
Okay, honestly, so I've been working out with some of my new teammates, right? And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna specify which teammate because they could end up watching this podcast. But like, I worked out with them a couple days ago, and like we were maxing out, bench. He obviously benches a lot more than me. You know me, I got weak arms. It's just a part of my
Yes,
life.
very weak, very
Yeah,
weak.
yeah. I ain't afraid to admit it because I make up for it in legs and my clean. I'm very proud of that. But he's going for a new PR. He's going for we'll say over 250 pounds. I'm not gonna tell the viewers exactly which weight because that weight would give it away. Uh, but he took his shirt off for a PR max.
I don't know why people do that. I don't get the point of having your shirt off.
Right,
I
exactly.
I
Like
just
I
don't.
get it. I get it. Like if you're in like a practice or something like that where you're dying, you know what I mean? Like where you can't, like where you're dripping sweat. I get that. I've taken my shirt off for stuff like that. But like you don't need to take your shirt off for a PR.
Yeah, that's really
Leave it to
confusing to me.
PR.
Like a lot of times I PR in a sweatshirt, so like
Yeah, I know you PR in a sweatshirt. I usually PR in what, like a muscle shirt, tank top, something like that. But like
I don't understand guys who feel the need to have their shirt off all the
I
time.
also
It's
I
just confusing
also
to me.
don't like people. Another small pet peeve is like I don't care how little weight you put on that bar, you need to put a clip on. That's just my motto.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just
I agree.
that just bothers me. Like when you see someone like they're about to bench for not a PR, but like just like 10 reps and they put a 45 on each side. And then they just don't throw the clip on because they're like, oh, I'll keep balance. How do you know you're going to keep balance though?
But there's always a chance, like maybe one of your legs cramps
Or your
or
arm
one of your arms
slips.
cramp.
Yeah, or you
Yeah,
slip and
and they
then
just
boom, 45 hits the ground and then the other side is skyrocketed in the air. Like just put on the clips. There's like no reason not to put on the clips.
exactly.
Like it's another what, 2 seconds? 2 seconds, 3 seconds to put on clips?
Yeah, it's
It's not that hard to put on clips. Oh, what's another one? I have a lot for the weight room.
one of mine is the guy that when he's maxing, he wants everybody to look at him. Like he's unnecessarily grunting before he even starts. Like I get like you're trying to get yourself hyped up, but don't walk in front of me like yelling because you know you just want me to look at you. Like bro.
I like when people
Or
I like being hyped up though. Like being hyped. There's a
yeah,
difference between like come on, hype me up or like just having your bros there to hype you up for a reason.
I mean like this random dude in the gym that's just going around because he wants people to look at him
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
so strong.
I'm cutting out wiping my nose from the podcast. But um yeah, no, I definitely agree with that one. Uh okay, we're gonna like go outside the weight room. Football wise, people that annoy me are people that think they're the hot shit when they don't even touch the field.
Facts, facts. Honestly, I feel like it's just like I have more respect for a teammate who's plays uh like average and is humble than one who's great but isn't.
Right. And I think for you, you're humble. I mean, you were obviously injury prone this last year, but that's not your fault. That's nobody's fault. But
It was kind of my fault. I wasn't prepared.
well, nobody was prepared for this season with COVID. But for me, I think I'm humble outside of like our little circles. You know what I mean? Like I think I'm humble, like talking to my family or something like that. But at practice, I think I'm hot shit. Like I
Yeah,
make you guys remember that like I'm better than you.
I make jokes about me having like high self esteem, like I'm bragging, but like people know that's not really how I am.
Right. And like I think I could it depends on the day. Like if I'm being put on Tanner every day, every practice for every rep, I'm not gonna have a high self esteem that day. I'm gonna be dirty, sad, depressed,
Yeah,
upset, in
kids a
pain.
beat, bro.
It's literally like I just got beat by my dad for 3 hours straight. That's what it is. That's a dark joke, and I'm sad that you're not laughing at it because now it looks like really bad.
Because I didn't know if I was allowed to laugh at it.
You could say something. I wish my dad was more like Tanner, so even though he beat me, he'd still be there.
What's a dad? You were gonna have to cut all that out. Um, but
Who says I
I was
have to
gonna say,
cut that out?
cut it out. But T- Tanner, that like he can fight. Like
God,
like
you know,
when
I
when
think
he got the gash by his eye, he just kept going through practice.
me and me and Packer, Packer is our center, by the way. Also, we should probably introduce like our ages and what's going on. About halfway through the video. I'm a senior going into college to go play football at our local college called College of Idaho. And Javar is going to be a junior next year. Uh, but basically, all uh, we had this guy who's 6'6", 315, and his name was Tanner. And Tanner wasn't a bad 315. He was a good 315.
He can move.
I think that Donik made a mistake though by putting him out at tackle. If you watch our film from last year, he did not like playing tackle. He never kick set. He just like did his guard center wobble step. You know what I mean? You know what step I'm talking
Mhm.
about?
Well, it worked though.
It didn't work as well. Like I think Noah had a better season than Tanner, pass pro wise. Run blocking wise, Tanner beat everybody. I
Run
think
block. Tanner was unstoppable.
Oh yeah. I think that here's our we would have gone at least 3-3 with this lineup. Tanner at center, either no, it'd be Cam and Packer at guard, and like you could rotate with Cam since he's going both ways, and then Jackson could rotate with Pack, or he can rotate with me and Lucas at tackle, and then Noah at the other tackle. Because I'd take Lucas or like giving me a fair shot. Also, everybody at our high school needs to know to go both ways. I did. Javari does. He's probably going both ways. But for me, I was told I need to go both ways, and I never saw the field going on the offensive line, which was, I think, ridiculous.
But speaking of Tanner, one thing that I'm very proud of myself for is that I squat more than him.
I think you
Very
squat
proud of that.
more than the uh, best defensive lineman at C of I, where I'm going, if I'm not wrong. You squat a
It
lot.
might be just because I'm short, but come on, it's still pretty good, you
Bro,
know.
some kid from Rocky told me that you didn't get enough depth. And I was like, that's cap.
On one of my squats that I posted, I didn't.
I
Uh,
don't think the Bora one, you got enough depth.
yeah, at the Bora one, I did.
Yeah, I think that like there's a lot of people that say like I think there's just a bunch of different philosophies on squatting, but mine has always been if you get 90 degrees, you did it right. 90 degrees or lower, that's the perfect squat.
Right. Let's look at my squat. I'll pull it up.
You okay, well I'm recording, so I'll pull up your squat. Take off our webcams for a second and pull up the squat.
You'll be able to see it because
Oh,
if I
here's
present,
the Unglorified podcast, guys. This is where we're gonna be posting.
I already have it. Right.
Is it? Are you screen sharing on Discord?
About to.
Okay, go for it. I'll cut out this time in between us. It's fine. Okay, let's watch this stream. Okay, we're watching. Those frames are pretty slow, bud.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be probably a better idea if you did it.
Yeah, I think I have a faster running PC. I don't mean that in a bad way either. You know that.
Yeah, mine's super old.
I think this is a newer PC that was used, or not a PC, a newer laptop. It's Core 7 Intel, but since it was used, somebody like ruined it.
Hmm.
But uh, but it now is uh, frick. It was restored. Is what I was trying to say. Okay, where I know I have it somewhere.
Today gonna be the day that I'm gonna throw it back to you.
I'll just look up Bora Fitness. Bro, let's talk about our new platforms that I'm not even going to be there to use.
Oh, they look so good. They look so good.
Oh, look at that. These are the new platforms within our weight room.
They feel good too.
Oh, bro, they feel like you're on the hardwood, like you're back playing basketball before we became fat linemen. All right.
Yeah.
Since my screen's recording it already. So this is Javari, guys, for people that don't know because he won't put on a camera. Okay, let's go back. We're watching film now, brother. Okay.
Mhm.
That's 90 degrees. I'll give that to you. I'll give that 90 degrees. Some
See,
people won't. Some dude said you need to like go past 90 degrees. Like you need to go to uh like you like your ass has to be in the grass is what they say. And I was just like, that's complete bull crap. Your ass does not need to be in the grass to count it as a squat.
my butt's parallel anyway.
What?
Usually it's either 90 degrees or your butt parallel to your knees, and both of those I got on my squat.
I
So,
thought you did. Yeah, I think you're fine. No, but like you could say like, "Oh, I lift more than Tanner." But the thing is though, if we go watch film, who has the better highlights, you or Tanner?
all right. Here's the thing, though. I'm a sophomore. Okay.
That's no excuse. You should be D1 by now. Committed.
I should be committed as a sophomore.
Yep.
Okay.
You could commit and decommit all the way till your senior season. I found
I
that out
can't.
the
I,
other day.
I'm pretty sure I can't like actually commit until September.
Well, yeah, but like anywhere from like now, you could decommit till your senior season. Then you're like say if I got a walk on offer now from Idaho State like this week, I can't commit there because I'm already signed and committed as an adult to C of I.
Yeah.
I'd find some way around it though. If I got a walk on offer from a cheaper and Division 1 school, Idaho State, shoo.
You can't talk. You can't be talking about how another college is better than your college.
Well, it's Division 1 versus NAIA.
Hey, no, you have to say your college is the best ever. Stuff like
No,
that. You
you
know.
don't. I'll say we're the
Yes,
best
you do.
NAIA program I've ever seen. I think that like the playoffs coming up these next couple weeks. I think, I think, whew, I think there's gonna be some good games. Like, we just won 10-3. That was crazy. Me and Javari watched the last couple minutes of that game. Our boy from our school, Bora, Bada Binga, getting that late game fumble to set up the game winning drive. That key,
Perfect.
that Keegan kid though, Keegan McCoy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
He's gonna be a senior with another year of eligibility because of COVID next year. But anyways, back to more pressing topics about this year. Uh, KM. You know who I'm talking about when I say KM? I mean not Coach K, not Coach KM, but like player KM. Same initials.
Uh, yes, I do.
Okay. He's tall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. KM will make or break her season this year.
Yeah,
This is down to him and PR. It's down to him and PR
yeah.
and BT. BT also.
BT's going crazy. I know for a fact. Like he's
he,
going crazy.
bro, he better have a god tier season. No cap.
Like you could like just from last year, which was his junior season, you could see like the drive in his eyes.
Right,
Like just look at
exactly. And like Coach W was telling me about how like he's getting pissed because no other skillies want to go work out with him because like he's just wanting to work. He wants to put in the work. He wants to go run routes. He wants to do DB drills. And like he's like coaches are busy and no other skilly wants to go work with him. It's like that's scary. I think
he's gonna do some big things this year.
Me and Coach W talked about this when we were on JV for the last couple games. We did this. And we feel like he should have done this last year or the year before. So now it could be him and Russian, but now NC is also up there, but BT at running back.
I think he'd be better suited to be a receiver actually.
Well, our two JV games, everybody kept blaming our line, right, for JV season because we had like I think it was just 50 yards a game, usually 50 to 75. Our two games with BT at running back, over 100 rushing yards. He broke
Yeah,
free for 40-yard carries a couple times.
yeah, it might be because I haven't really seen him like run. So
I might have to show you some film later if we. Oh, I'm not on the JV roster anymore, but if Coach W hasn't, maybe I'll uh have him give it to me and I can show you. But he plays running back very well, just because he's so good at cutting and reading where to go. So is PR though. PR is he'll be a big thing.
I think I'm not sure how much he did it this year, but last year, like went outside a lot more than he should have. So
It's
he does need to
looking
work
like
on
that this year because I watched the game last night with Packer, and Packer was telling me about Packer is the center, by the way, for you guys that don't know. But we watched that and it was just like whoa. We did like I think it was like a fake jet sweep duo or zone left, and he just like bounced it outside and it got like 15 yards, but like the hole was there. It just got plugged in the end.
that.
So I think with last year that would have worked better than just like what Pimo did, which was just juke or truck everybody. We need KM though to threaten to run the ball this year.
Yeah,
There's so many plays where I just saw like that DN go piss off, and then he just go after Pimo, and then he would just like, and then like there's like 30 yards of space. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think just as long as KM gets better, like makes better choices with his throws, it'd probably be amazing. Like,
KM, if you figured this out and you know who you are, we love you. Don't worry.
but yeah, he could definitely lead us to like a good playoff run.
Right, exactly. Like we're not just like crapping on our players right now. We're just saying like our honest thoughts. This is a podcast. We're allowed to do that.
Yeah. And I'm not like 100% like moving the blame, like any sort of blame. Like I need to work on my
Right.
how in
Like
shape I am.
I think the biggest problem last year was O-line. Like I'm not afraid to admit that. That's why there's me and Coach W now. Like that's why I'm there.
Right.
You see the Eagles signings this year?
Yeah.
Three no-name players.
And
I think they're both
I just don't
safeties.
understand.
They were both safeties, right?
I don't remember.
I know one of them was a
What was
defensive tackle, and two of them were, I think, just DBs in general.
There's no way that Houston wants to win any games.
Oh, there's no way. Okay, yes. Hold on, real quick before we move on. Anthony Harris and Andrew Adams. Andrew Adams was on the special teams for the Bucks, and Anthony Harris was a safety for the Vikings. So we got new safeties. I think Anthony Adams probably plays more than just special teams. I bet he's a pretty good corner, but like how stacked that Bucks defense was, he just didn't get any playing time.
Yeah.
I mean, those
Yep.
two guys are replacing Jalen Mills and then just helping our secondary at that point.
I say that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
You and Miss Mills, the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna dye his hair red now?
No.
What about blue?
No.
You don't think
No. He's already established himself as a Green Goblin. He can't do that anymore. I mean, do that. You know.
the Red Goblin?
Exactly. That just doesn't sound right.
Who do you think the Eagles should draft, a receiver or
O line.
You think really?
Yeah.
If you think about it though, when the O line's healthy, it's good. You got Lane Johnson, who was hurt all year. Brandon Brooks, hurt all year. Jason Peters, who was hurt for like half the year. And then you had Kelsey playing with a broken arm. Like, what are you going to do there? And then your
Well,
backup left tackle, who is your first round draft pick, tore his bicep. So, like, you just got shafted by injuries, basically.
but we can't. They can't. There can't be the possibility of that happening again.
You just now,
Because
you
once,
got PTSD from that?
because partly like once you get injured, you're more prone to injuries, and
Well, yeah,
so
but also at the same time, that's a good O line. Maybe I wouldn't say waste the first round pick on that. I'd say second and third round picks need to be linemen. How about that? Get a first round talent in a skill position, either receiver or a corner. Those are who I would say. I would say receiver or a corner, and then your second and third round picks need to be both offensive linemen. They can't be an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. It has to be both O line. Because that D line is thick. Like that D line is deep.
D line's good.
Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Josiah Sweat, Derek Barnett, Hargrave. Who else is on that D line that I'm forgetting?
You say Cox?
Yeah, I said Cox. But the linebackers also look good with Alex Singleton. Shoo! That man's that
Underrated player. Very underrated player.
very underrated. He's scary. Canadian Football League, 3 year in a row defensive MVP. Do you know how hard it is to get defensive MVP as a linebacker? Because like the first one
Yeah.
they look at is defensive line, just for or like DNs I should say for sacks, and then they go to linebackers. For the fact that he got 3 times in a row for the most tackles, and he had the most tackles in the league after he started playing, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. When you're in the gym, what do you think is your main motivation?
To look like Keegan McCoy. No, I think the main motivation I get is like here's a key motivation. So I got a story for you now. I was sitting with Coach W, and we were making the depth chart. Also, again, I forgot to mention this. Uh, Even though I'm going to college to play football, when I can, I'm coming back and helping our school Bora as an offensive line coach. But anyways, me and Coach W were making the depth chart, and I was like, we were just doing stuff, and he's like, well, let me check the D line depth chart to see who's going both ways in that. And he accidentally clicked on the D line depth chart from last year. I was the third string D end with a question mark on my name, not knowing if I was going to play that year at the beginning of the season. That that is my new source of motivation. Was that like when I see where I am on that depth chart and that like they didn't have faith in me even showing up, I was just like, okay, well now I gotta prove it. Now I gotta prove that I've been doing this all summer. I've been doing this all spring. I think you are one of the few people that knew that I did a lot of those summer workouts that they were posting. Like I was just working D line moves. I tried working O line stuff, but I prioritized D line because I knew I wasn't gonna play O line. And like I
Mm.
was doing those summer workouts, like me and Parker. Parker is my brother. He's gonna be a senior this year. Uh, we would just go like you know how they said like to do those 2 mile runs. We were actually doing those 2 mile runs. Like you just have to find it's hard to find that source of motivation, but once you find it, you have to keep going. Like for me, I don't like being last. I don't like losing. I don't like being at the bottom of the depth chart. Like I'm literally starting from the very bottom at C of I. I really am because I was the last recruit. All these the only other DN that was brought in this year is a transfer student who's 6'4", 275. That's the only other end. So I'm literally starting at the bottom of the pile. Where's your motivation? Like, where's the motivation to squat 515?
Mostly sadness.
So we go from a very deep, like, pushing yourself to be the greatest person you can be to prove people wrong to mostly sadness.
I mean, it's true. That's kind of like my biggest motivation is sadness. Uh, and like always. Okay, before I squat, like it's usually
You just have
usually
a
before I max
song
on
going,
anything.
dead puppies, dead family. Yo.
Before I squat, I have this moment replaying in my mind. It's where one of our teammates. I told him that I wanted to play football in college. I'm gonna call him LV. I'm gonna call him
LV.
LVL. LVL. So you can get it more. But
Oh,
he
okay.
told me. I told him I wanted to play football in college. And he said, "There's no chance. You're 5'9". And that just plays in my head every time. Just seeing him say that to me, it just plays in my head every time
LVL
about it,
doesn't
Max.
know what he's talking about, first off. LVL could literally, all he could do was hold someone. So don't listen to LVL. When we talk crap about
That's what
someone,
I'm
I
trying to
love how we
prove
use
wrong.
abbreviations, but when we're talking about somebody that we like Packer or Tanner, we use their real name.
We have to.
uh, no, LVL is he's special, but he meant that probably in a joking way. Like he was like I know how he talks, and I bet he was just like, "Oh, dude, no, you were never going." You know what I mean? You're fine. Like, dude, you're fine. Like that's how he sounded, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like that's just how Lucas is. He doesn't mean it like that. Lucas or
You said Lucas.
yeah, I did. Well, now we're screwed up. Hi, Lucas.
Oops.
Oops, whatever. But you weren't talking crap about him saying that. You were just saying that he said that. So, I mean, you also kind of did you kind of did shit on him in practice when he went to D line. So, sorry, Lucas. We love you. We know you don't care about football anymore. That's why we say this.
We he might love you, but like,
Lucas, Lucas and I have been like we were the JV guys. We were the juniors on JV. You know, like we were the starting DNs for every single game, and like we always had a competition of who had more sacks. It was always, but like literally that was my motivation that year. Was I was like I have to be better than Lucas, and then I was,
mm,
and then I was like, wait, I could be way better than Lucas. I could be like I could be better than Cam. I could be better than Crispin. I had a better season than Crispin. That is still in my brain. That's gonna
see,
bother
that
me.
could be part of your motivation. Like you're overlooked.
I really am. That's what the tight end 18 at Capitol told me. It was that they didn't even look at me when we were off the field. He was like, "Yeah, we did not expect you to block our run game that well." I was like, "Thank you." Maybe I think that's a compliment.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I think I think me and Tanner were our two best D linemen. I think obviously Tanner's number one, and then just out of like most improved and shock that nobody knew who I was, I think I was number two, and then you'd go Lou two, and then Crispin. In my opinion, I'd put Crispin in dead last because he didn't try this year.
I think if I had stayed healthy and been in better shape, I could have done
You would
pretty
have
well in game.
rotated with Lutu or rotated with Tanner. Probably more Lutu because he'd go Tanner. You're getting him breather. No,
Because the only time I did play D line was in the last game when they were trying to give Tanner a breather, which is
right.
rare.
Which is a very rare thing because he never needs it. And I love how like he could have been drinking out of like the normal waters that the team gives us, but he has his jug. He has his gallon. He's got that Joe Metzger gallon. I think he drinks 2 gallons instead of one, like Joe. You know, I
I
made a
mean,
new screensaver today for that photo of pregame when we played against Meridian, that team photo that Eric's dad took. That's the best photo by far from that whole
which
year.
one?
The
The one
one
we're all kneeling.
No, the one where we're all in a group like before game and we're getting hyped up.
Oh yeah,
There's you just in the back like hi, or technically in the front of the photo. Loudon's right next to you. There's me,
yeah. I know what picture you're talking about now.
and then there's just Tanner putting his clip on. That was a great photo. I love that photo. Oh,
That was a when we played that game. I feel like if we had played that well in all of our other games, we would have had a much better record if we had played that hard.
if our defense played like that, since if our offense could finish a drive, oh my god. And I'm not
We would.
talking crap about coaching. I think it was just at the end of the day, there were questionable decisions by everybody.
Yeah,
KM, Coach M, our blocking Coach D, like there was just questionable things all around. I think obviously the offense was the struggle, but like at the end of the day, it wasn't just one thing on the offense. It was a lot of things that nobody can control.
at a certain point, it's just kind of
That's
beyond
just
you.
kind of what
Beyond
it
you.
was.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I was impressed with myself from the Meridian game. I think I did pretty well.
I think still the best game was Capital for me. I hope the other Coach M, offensive line Coach M, I hope he starts showing up more. He was a very big help to me, and I feel like he could be to you and like other people.
Yeah,
Assistant Coach M, Coach M.
yeah, I do. I think
PJ, I want you to fuck him.
it's good to have a coach that has that thing in common with me. You could probably guess what it is.
Yeah, I could. No, really? You mean like the thing that you and Shep have in common too?
Yeah, it's. I'm glad that we have two coaches that I have that with. You know?
Even though this is Idaho.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not common.
If anybody's listening that's on the team, I think you guys know what that thing is that's in common.
Yeah,
They would know.
I feel like even if they're not on the team, they could probably figure it out.
I mean, it's not that hard to figure it out.
It's not.
I'll put it in perspective. Me and him don't have that in common. Yeah, it's called height.
That's not what I was talking about, but okay.
No, that's totally what you were talking about, bro. What are you talking about?
Sure, sure.
Even though Coach
I'm not
M,
calling you bro.
we couldn't understand you.
Good.
I hope somebody figures out what you said there. It's like,
It
yeah,
probably won't be that hard.
it's height that they have in common. Coach M's 6'7". Yep,
He's on 6'7".
I think he's like 6'6". I think he's Tanner's height, maybe a little taller.
Is he?
He's also had like 4 knee surgeries. So like he's a little shorter, but yeah, he was. Remember, he was supposed to go D1 for tackle, or not D1. He was supposed to go to the NFL for tackle.
Did I tell you that my cousin was in the NFL?
I thought you said
Well,
it was your uncle.
I've had more than one. Hold on. I have a book about him. Okay,
What?
so
First blame
my
that.
cousin
Anyways, continue.
was his name was Don Rogers. I don't know, and the book is called "One Moment Changes Everything: The All America Tragedy of Don Rogers." So he was a really good uh, football player. He was in the NFL, and then overdosed on coke. Would
Anyways,
you rather
oh god,
be a walk on and sit the bench at a D1 school, or start at a D3?
walk onto a D1. As me, a NAIA school athlete, these costs are ridiculous. Like I have a huge scholarship and huge financial aid, and I'm still going to be paying 19 grand a semester if I live on campus. Before,
But won't you be paying more at a D1?
no, D1 schools are a lot cheaper because they're public schools. D3 and NAIA schools are private. A lot of D1 schools are public and a lot cheaper. Like BSU, I'd be paying 12, and with all my scholarships at Idaho State, I'd be paying around 8.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so if you can walk on to a D1 school, or like if you have a D2 offer that's like a partial scholarship and then a D1 offer that's a walk on, do the math before you commit. That's my
I,
word of advice is do your
I had
math.
no
And also D1 schools don't have to give it's not like a full ride or a walk on. There's like 50% scholarships where they cover 50% of everything. There's 75%. Like me and the guy that I was lifting with that took his shirt off, we watched we met another guy that's at C of I right now for track at the gym, and we were talking, and he had Division 1 football offers from Colorado State, UNLV, and Utah State, but he tore his ACL and his Achilles his senior year.
damn.
So he decided just to throw instead. And he went to College of Idaho. But he was telling us, like, they weren't full rides, though. They were like, we'll cover 75% of your tuition, so you only pay like 4 grand, which is still amazing, you know? Like, that's
Mhm.
still a lot of money n- narrowed down to 8 grand a year. Like, if I could pay that, I would. Like that's one of the reasons that like people say like, "Oh, you don't want to transfer from the school you committed to if you could go somewhere better." I'm sorry. I don't care how good your program is. I'm probably going to transfer if I get like a partial to a Division 1 school that's cheaper than you guys. Cuz like my biggest word of advice that my family's given me and that I'm going to give you, student loans. Student loans are the worst thing. Going into debt is a horrible idea, and that's why I'm gonna try and do the most cost effective I possibly can. Like, if you become an All American too, you get some scholarships as well. Or like, obviously for like schools like BSU and stuff, if you make the travel team or you're way better than they thought you were gonna be, you go on scholarship. It just depends on how you play.
Mhm. Interesting.
All this stuff that you didn't know or ever think of.
Nope. Never thought that deeply about college.
You think you could still go to college, right? I
I
mean,
think I
hey,
could, yeah.
here's one that makes you feel good. That guy that I was lifting with is 5'9", and he's going with me to C of I.
I think I could. I think if I worked enough, I could go at least D2.
You just gotta work enough, so I don't have to give you coach speech like that.
Yeah,
Alright? I still feel bad for doing that, but at the same time, I think you needed to hear it.
yeah, I did. I did.
Good.
Because not gonna lie, when you did that, I was that was the day I was planning on not waking up at 5:30 like I normally do. But
Uh,
then I did. Yeah,
I mean, we have a lot of guys coming up that look pretty good. Parker and Loudon look really good. And that's scary because like all we're gonna do is run the ball. So we've just been doing run blocking drills. And I know those two would get bullied in pass blocking, but what happens if we just never pass block? Like, those two look really good. Do they just don't care about their bodies and just jump forward? Herbert looks good. Our whole offensive line looks good. Congratulations to anybody who's made it this far in the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, we're pretty boring. So
Uh, Packer said he'd watch one full episode. I'm going to hold him to that.
he's lying.
I don't think I'm gonna hold him to it, and I'll need video proof from him of him like at minute 44 or however long this video is gonna be. I don't think I could do like 3 hour podcasts like Joe Rogan though. Like we've barely done about 50 minutes. I could not do like 2 hour podcasts.
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
Like doing like sitting still for 2 hours. Like maybe it's different in person, but I know that like we wouldn't mess around or something like that. Like we wouldn't sit still and just do this the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, I think we should call it here. Thank you guys for listening to the first episode of the Unglorified podcast. Uh, we're gonna try and upload at least once or twice a week. But we'll see and go from there. Thanks you guys for watching.